Yeah, but Larry's fucking... That fool weighs to me every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So, like, this is not comfortable zone, but if it really came down to it and it was like, we're all shacked up here, this is our house, those houses are also ours now. You know what I mean? Like, that's a terrible way to think about things. And I don't even know if I could, like, legit pull it off. Like, there'd be some loose ends, but that would be the move. Like,
this is just hypothetical, FBI.
FBI.
You know, just like, what would you do? What do you think it would be like?
If the FBI is still toting around at the point that the fucking government falls, I'm gonna be like, hey, fools. I'm gonna be like, hey, you three guys that, like, are bottom bitch, obviously, like, you wanna come, like, not do that and fucking maybe kill all those guys that were addicted to you? You know what I'm saying?
They'll be like, no, dude. I took an oath when I was, like, 18 about this shit. You don't understand how in this I am.
I've been wanting to talk about this because I've been playing 2 different video games that, like, have, I don't know. I really love lore and just, like, back history, like, the world building.
Yeah.
That's my, like, some of my favorite shit when you're just like, damn, somebody put this in here? That's tight. But I have 2 games that I've been playing. One is Death Stranding, which is, like, by the same guy who made Metal Gear and all of the Metal Gears. And the idea is that, like...
I haven't played a video game since Super Smash Bros. Melee came out.
Oh, that's a bop, too, though.
I'm just giving you a time reference for... I don't know what you're saying.
That's okay. Like, shortly after you stopped playing video games got ridiculous. So, like, another one that, like, came out pretty close to what you were talking about is BioShock. Which is about...
Sounds like a cool band.
It's so tight, honestly. Like, the whole idea is, like, they kind of ran with, like, Ayn Rand's idea. You know who Ayn Rand is?
Yeah.
Like, her idea of, like, you gotta pull them shits up. You gotta pull your pants up and fucking really get down to brass tacks. Like...
Is she the do what thou wilt?
No, that's Crowley.
Person? That's Crowley?
Yeah.
Okay. But she was a high subscriber to that dude.
I'm sure. She, like, was a Russian expat that, like...
Dude, she's spooky. You want to talk about some freaky eyes in an old picture, Tapatio style? She looks like that.
She looks like a... You know how America has, like, iconic fucking, like, this is what America was at this time? She was, like, 1930s, like, rich. Like, look. But not, like...
Oh, I'm getting her mixed up with a witch. That fucked around
Blavatsky.
Yeah, my bad.
No. Blavatsky was, like... Oh, I love Blavatsky.
I'm glad all I had to say was witch, and you were like, oh, wait, no, yeah, you're talking about the frizzy-haired chick.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
I had a frizzy-haired chick that for a while that was, like, my boo thing, you know? And she was, like, several years older than me, which was really fun.
Was that your gym?
No.
Your gym gal?
Billy and I never got together, honestly. Yeah, it's definitely one of those, like, if it ever came up, I would really be taxed, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would definitely be a hard, like, can I get 20 minutes to think about it? Like, this is really, can I get, like, 10 minutes? Like,
that's one, dude, you gotta take the Bill Burr advice on that one. Like, you go jerk off, and then you see how you feel, and that's how you really feel.
Yeah, it would definitely be a fucked up sitch. But, where was I going with all this? Oh, anyway, Ayn Rand. she's like, if, like, William Randolph Hearst and fucking, who's the guy that did the steel?
Like, actual steel?
Yeah, he was the steel guy. Steel magnate. Not the guy from There Will Be Blood.
It's not Carnegie?
Probably. Yeah, I think it actually is.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know.
Anyway, if they both had a baby together and were like, hey, we're going to make this baby, like,
God,
the best spokesperson for, like, our ideology of, like, reality.
Yeah. This hand is sticky, dude.
Why you got sticky
I burned
hands?
myself on my cigarette twice. I'm listening.
So if they made a baby, Ayn Rand would be like, the spokesperson for their, like, worldview. And essentially the idea is that she would, like, as a person, we should follow the people that have the most power, essentially. So the people that, like, Elon Musk or, like, William Randolph Hearst, the people that just, like, own a lot of shit and can make shit happen.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, that fool. That fool went to space. Anyway.
You just paid for it, too.
So for Bioshock, they basically took her idea. So she wrote a whole book about. It's called Atlas Shrugged. And I read this book. I read, like, a lot of the book. It was a big book.
I've heard this book's name before a couple times.
And it's basically the idea that, like, government is regulating business so hard that they can't do what they need to do. And the world's fucking up because of that. And the problem is like, in Atlas Shrugged, this guy, John Galt, makes this, like, city that is, like, unknown to the world. And, like, basically convinces all of the, like, heads of business to go to that city. And, like, the big refrain of the book is, who is John Galt? So, when you find out who that fool is, he just steals all of the people that have, like, quote-unquote run shit and has a perfect city. And in Bioshock, they take that idea and they substitute John Galt for Andrew Ryan. And you go through the city and, like, experience, like, what that city would be like after it fell, essentially. It's, like, post-Rome. And this is the kicker, is it's, like, the whole city is underwater. It's at the bottom of the ocean. And it's tight. It's
boom.
Like, yeah, it's a boom moment. And, like, the whole thing is, like, they definitely did some shit, because they, like, figured out how to manipulate genes. They did a bunch of shit. That game's tight as fuck. The whole world behind it's tight as fuck. I love shit like that. You say Ayn Rand in a sentence, I'm like, give it up. Let's see what's going on here.
You're a freak, dude.
I have catchphrases.
Alright, I'm gonna change subjects here. So I bartend at that place. And I probably already told you this story, but every once in a while I bartend a funeral, or like a celebration of life, is what they always call it. And it's usually chill, because it's like an old person that had like a shitload of friends and was a big influence on the town and shit, and like it's just like nothing but good stories, no crying, and like everyone's having to, it's like kind of it's the ideal funeral, and it's like expensive. But one time I did this girl, and she was like a young girl. I don't really want to describe her or anything, but she died mysteriously, like, in her sleep, I guess. And it was just, like, everyone having, like, a little bit of a breakdown at the thing the whole time. And it was weird, because it was, like, had been pushed back because of COVID, so it had already happened, like, 6 months before that, too. And so all these people were just, like, I don't know, felt like they just, like, revisited everything, I'm sure.
Like they had to?
Yeah, but I want to talk about funerals, because, like, funerals in the future are going to be so crazy, dude. Because this was a young person that had, like, a heavy social media presence, and it was like, okay, we're going to play the slideshow now. And it's like, I've been to a funeral with a slideshow and shit, and it's like, they'll get through the person's whole life in, like, 5 or 6 minutes of cool photos and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, most of the, I don't know. This slideshow goes on for fucking ever now. Because it's like, everyone has a zillion pictures of themselves and shit. And it's like, really fucking weird. Because there's ones where it's just like, oh, everyone in this picture is on, like, ecstasy. You can just clearly tell. Or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking weird. And they just go on and on forever, because people just document everything now. It's like we're documenting just a conversation. And it was just, I don't know, I was tripping out on it, because I was like, dude, what if there's a fucking funeral where you are like at the funeral, but you're old, like your friend is dying. Like say you're at my funeral.
Okay.
And you're chilling there, and then somebody's live feeding you at my funeral. Like it's part of the slideshow and shit too, so you can like see it, and it's like all fucking Fifth Element style, where there's like 50 screens and shit. You know what I mean? But it's like this is the slideshow, but it just looks like CNN, and like fucking you die at my funeral. And you dying is part of the slideshow in my funeral. Because it's so fucking long.
Yeah. I think the only thing that, like, touches on that is, like...
They're just gonna be too long. Like, the funerals are gonna start taking up so much fucking time.
No, they do.
If the slideshow is, like...
But then we'll have, like... So then there will be less
You can't remember
people,
somebody's whole life in real time. That's fucking insane.
One of my
Wait, don't talk. You're taking a pee break. The microphone can't hear.
Sorry.
He left me again. He's gonna expect me to hold the conversation.
It's a big one.
I'm mad.
Funeral.
Funerals of the future.
So...
I bet people dress hella sexy, though, to the funerals of the future.
Shut up. I cannot believe you just... So, kind of like on that same tip, like, I remember a very, like, particular live streaming funeral event that I participated, not even of my own volition.
Already?
Yeah. Literally at work. At work. I watched Lemmy of Motorhead's fucking funeral.
Oh, yeah.
On my shift. Not even like... Literally, one of my coworkers was so tore up at Bebo. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Shane was so tore up at this fool's death that on our shift, we watched his funeral in real time. To like...
He was one of the hardcorest Motorhead fans I ever met.
I think that's the worst part is like... I think really what it comes down to is like... people who hold up a standard of any kind of like music, they're like, my devotion to this thing is not deep because I say it is, it's because it like ties up into who I am. And it's like, you can't really harsh on somebody for not like going through a hard time at the same time that they were really into fucking Motorhead. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
No.
I didn't have my mom die while fucking Motorhead was, like, the band I was really into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, when Lemmy dies, I'm just like, damn, a fucking Speedhead fucking died? You know what I mean? Like, damn, wow, what a loss to the world. Like, I watch people on YouTube who have literally no recorded musical, like, catalog that are, like, infinitely better as a bassist than Lemmy is.
Well...
Which is not to say, like, I'm just saying that as the most extreme version of, like, I don't care. But ultimately, like, that's your story to tell. That's not connected, like, and this kind of wraps back around to, like, people care about the world so much that they think that their story is wrapped up into the world. And it's like, no. We don't live off the earth anymore. We live on top of that shit. You know what I mean? Like we exist free of fucking bond, and that exists for everything.
So you're saying he was trauma dumping on you a little bit?
That was my role at Bebo for like 4 years. Seriously. No, not even
That's
like...
just what you have to be as a sane person there.
It was terrible. Like, yeah, literally as a person that's like, I'm not so pent up that I'm going to tell a random person that my life is falling apart.
Yeah.
Like, I could hold that shit in. I've had my life... Like, I was born into life's falling apart. Like, I'm not worried about
You're Bane, dude. You were born in the darkness. You didn't merely adapt to it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I didn't have to break my back and then have some asshole punch my back into place to get up out of there. Literally, they strapped my mask on as soon as I got fucking spit out. Like, I was in pain. So they had to give it to me. You know what I mean? Like, so on top of that, it's like, at Bebo, it was bad. Though, it was bad.
Those people are gonna trip balls once they get, like, the next couple of jobs in their life. I'm not sure if any of them are working right now. I'm sure a bunch of them are. But I just, like, once they realize how good they had it there, and I love talking shit on that place, too. And I don't want to do that right now at all. But I'm just, like, once you realize how easy it was there, even Donovan and I will just, like, we'll, like, fantasize about just, like, dude, we should just go back and run that place just because they would let us, you know?
It's crazy. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think people really had, like, the fucking... Like, so one of the big jokes at my job right now is, like, it's like, you ever worked construction before?
Yeah.
Because basically it's, like, the idea that, like, everybody there has, like, seen some shit. So they know that, like, the job we're working right now is not some shit. Like, the most stressful moment is not some shit.
We live in the cutting edge of technology all the time.
Even if it's 30 years old, that shit's cutting edge. Like, I hope this was coming back with some more beers. Because if not, look, Froy, I'm going to cut this fucking podcast off again to go get more beer.
You want to?
Yeah.
All right, where are we at right now? 229. Oh no, not too bad.
And we're back in.
We're back. We went to the beer store. We got Coronas. Which was your mistake, because you're about to go get this bottle cap.
Oh, the wind. I ain't getting shit, boy.
Damn.
I know that shit doesn't apply to you, but...
You have a better angle.
It don't apply to you in your own house, so... I don't know why you'd be trying to...
It does apply. That was because it was one of those rules I started with David first.
Maniac. David's a maniac.
I haven't seen him in many years.
Damn, I saw that fool like 3 months ago.
How's he doing?
It's alright.
Yeah?
He's definitely...
Is he married?
No. He went more into the trail vibe.
Ah. Does he have dreads?
No, but he did have long hair and like a bun.
Oh, a bun.
Yeah, I think he was working down at 10 Tour.
Wow. Yeah, I think he's the bar manager. He's been working there for a while, since we lived together.
Sounds about right. It's a pretty chill little spot. It's like the fucking Bebo of Reno breweries, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like that their shit is so high tech. Like, that's kind of cool.
They just set it up. Yeah. I think, honestly...
It'd be a shame if some global disaster offset it and it had to go back to old world style.
No, that's the thing, too, is, like, working in, like, in, like, a field that, like, actually kind of gets the world done, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, it's already starting, you know what I mean? Where the supply lines for...
What are you talking about? You pothead?
I'm a pothead, I don't know. Like, as a pothead, I think you get, like, every pothead, the reason why you smoke weed is you get, like, as a weed smoker, you just get to take that step back that gets you in that mode where you're like, uh-oh.
I'm gonna jump a couple paragraphs here.
Yeah, I don't need to fucking...
Okay.
You know, I can get where the story's
going.
You
were losing me a little bit.
But supply lines for almost any automotive part right now are fucked. Like,
ooh.
It's not good because all of the stuff that's manufactured is in fucking China.
In China.
And not saying that's a bad thing against China. Good for them for getting the job done. But you saw what happened with the Suez Canal, where it was like one ship fucked up half the world. And it's like, yeah, of course. The fucking Panama Canal and the Suez Canal were built when they thought ships were fucking spacecrafts. Like, that shit, obviously, like, maybe...
That was funny, though.
Yeah, that's why we had memes.
I mean, I'm sure it was horrible for a lot of people and whatever, but, like, it's just crazy that, like, one wrong turn. It's crazy that nobody's made that turn before. It's never happened. It hasn't happened in my lifetime where somebody's like, the Panama Canal's been clogged up. You know?
I'm sure it's happened before, but it wasn't, like, an issue. You know what I mean? Because, like...
When the apocalypse goes down, dude. Those
well, when
places
coronavirus happened, it was just,
limits.
like, everything was getting shipped. Like, that's why everybody knows about Amazon delivery drivers now. It's like, oh, everybody and their fucking mother has a ring that can see one guy have a bad mistake and be like, look at what Amazon did. And it's like, no, man, that fool just, like, you had a whoopsie. Sorry, took out your fucking, like, brick. Like, fucking, I don't know. What I'm saying is, I always stand with my class. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna down anybody that's working, because I'm just like, that fool be fucking working.
Yeah.
I hate people that just, like,
That's
have,
cool.
like, a thing to say about people that be working. And it's like, no, respect that fool. Like, there's no reason, there's literally no, at this point, when they, like, to kind of, like, flip side COVID, when they were like, oh, essential workers, I think I'll use my credit card now. You know what I mean? Like, essential workers, like, that whole idea was like, these people are important, and it's like, that kind of, for me, that just gave me the pass to be like, alright, well, y'all are lower than me then. What the fuck are you doing here right now if you need something? You know what I mean? Like, I got a job to do. I don't know. I think that's kind of the vibe people should have right now, where it's like, nah, fool, the tables have turned. Literally.
Yeah,
like,
the work shortage and everything, there is a noticeable, like, oh, it's just so good to have you here, kind of thing. Like, and I've had a lot of jobs since this shit started, for reals. I worked at that weed farm, I worked at the fucking pizza place, I worked at the Bighorn Tavern. Ooh, which I forgot to tell you, while I was at the bar, after I saw all those people I didn't want to see, fucking these two children walked in next to me, and I was like, what the fuck? And I looked over, and it was the bitch wolf of Bighorn and her sister. Yeah, it was no
That's
good.
crazy.
And they were just, like, scowling at me and, like, walked past. It was fine.
I'm sure it was fine.
I left, like, right after that. I was just like, oh.
Sounds like a tornado.
Like, I'm no hippie, but the universe has clearly been like, dude, don't come here. And I saw Mark there, Nesbitt.
Nesbitt's sick.
And fucking...
the one shining light.
Yeah. And,
Don't tell me that.
No, he's great. He's okay.
We were supposed to go hiking with that fool.
I just... Yeah, you know, that's like every story I have with him is like, oh, we were gonna...
It's like seeing your dad, you know what I mean? Where you're like, yeah, he's doing good. It's not how I would have done it, though.
He's so... yeah, he's so fine. He just, like, was a little off my operating system, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just...
it wasn't clicking.
But it was just weird. I ran into him in the bar, and he bought me a drink, and was like... he was super fucking nice. And he was like, yeah, I'm getting married. I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, cool. He was just like, word. And it was just like one of those things where it was like...
wait, Mark's getting married?
And you're not invited, though, because...
I thought he was already married.
For mostly because,
oh, Nesbitt or Norris?
Nesbitt.
No shit. Okay, I thought you were talking about Norris the whole time.
No.
Damn. Okay, my bad.
It's
I've been having the total wrong reaction for this whole thing.
So this is a dude... Yeah, no, Norris is a shining light, and I'm not trying to talk any shit on...
No, of course. Like, I thought Norris was just... sometimes Norris be on his shit, you know, where he's just like...
he's on one, too. I ran into them recently. It was great.
I sold weed for that fool for a little bit.
That's cool. I fucking...
that shit was tight. Honestly, I was bummed when he didn't hit me up to do it again. I was
he didn't grow anymore.
He had more, though.
I don't know what he did with it all.
Whatever he did with it, he didn't sell it.
I
straight gave that fool like almost $500.
I bet he like had his brother do it or something, because his brother is familiar.
I did a total pothead style. He was not with it, dude. It was like, this is how I did it, where I was just like, oh, all this weed's mine? Sweet. Smoking half of it, and you're still gonna get like the right amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I pulled up to him with like $460, he was just like, what? No way.
Blake, I gave you a pound of weed.
No.
I'm just kidding.
He gave me like, not that much weed. It was like maybe 5 jars of weed, small jars.
Yeah, I think we only had
was just funny because his reaction was like, "Damn, you're too legit for me right now. I can't hang." You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, "Damn." Like, I didn't even take a profit. I just smoked a bunch of weed. Like, I wanted to do this again. This was fun. I just sold, like, I sold weed.
I did that. It took me. I tried so hard to, like, in the early 2000s, sell weed and find a way to, like, save that money. And I just, like, I had friends that did it, too. I saw people do it right in front of me.
Because they didn't smoke weed.
With the same weed, you know what I mean? Like, we would buy something together, split that, and then... But, yeah, I just and I would always over-bag people, you know what I mean? Just because I wanted to be the one where it was like, oh, dude, one time I went to fucking blah, blah. And
nobody's weighing it.
I know. Well, somebody did on me one time, and they said it was short, too. And then I felt like a dipshit, because those ones were all pretty weighed out, and I was pissed. Anyway.
I would just been like, my scale's straight.
Yeah, anyway, I tried so hard to figure that out, and it wasn't until I lived in the Lander house, and I had, like, a pound of weed from trimming weed and, like, working at a farm all year. And it was all, like, medium grade, small nugs. Too. It wasn't even anything cool, but it wasn't even until like halfway through that jar that I figured out how to like smoke, and I didn't owe anyone that weed, but it was like I was treating it like I did because that was always how my life was, you know. So I was just like, okay, my goal is to make. I feel like there's $3,000 worth of weed in here. My goal is to make $1,500, half of that, and then smoke the other half, or give it away and like smoke it with my homies and stuff. And I was just like, because then you're getting $1,500 to smoke a half pound of weed. You're not just.
That's the best.
You know what I mean? Like, at least you're getting half of the money. And now that I'm older, I'm just like, fuck, dude. Because I was just, like, paying my rent off of that and everything,
man,
too.
That's like exactly what Danny Brown was saying, that rapper, that, like, he was like, yeah, the reason I knew I was, like, bad at selling drugs is because, like, I was buying fucking, like, Xboxes and fucking shit like that. And everybody else was buying fucking cars. And we were buying the same shit.
And I was, like, the type of pothead that was just like, well, do you want to sit here for 4 hours with me and get really high and just, like, you know, do nothing? Like,
just take off.
Because I just got to wait here for the next guy like you to come by. And, like, that shit sucked. I fucking hated that. Every part of the fucking weed industry sucks, dude. Honestly. Like, I like smoking weed, and that's about it. Swear to God. I've fucking been everywhere, man, in that shit, and it is not my jam.
Anything you want's fucked up, I think, is, like, really the big story of it, where it's like, oh, damn, I'm fucked up.
I got to work on that weed farm where I got, it was the same place where I got this pound of weed that one year, but that year, I got promoted to, like, security guard and, like, farmer, kind of, like, not harvest part of anything, you know, just, like, I had to camp up in the weed field in a tent, and they gave me a shotgun and a pit bull. It was dope. It was, like, for reals, the most video game kick-ass thing that's ever happened to me.
You need some shit where you're sleeping on the ground.
Yeah, it was, like, after I had been, like, kind of abandoned by everyone that I came out there with, and I came out there separately again to just be like, I'm still down. This seems like a cool opportunity for me, because I had already made like $1,000 trimming weed.
Anytime you go do something like on your own, where like you don't have a foot in the door,
it
like,
just felt it was really cool.
It's always so much more rewarding.
I'm such a bitch about that too. Like,
yeah, totally, me too.
I have
just
such
like
a weird fear of getting out of my comfy zone. Even though I'm like, I hate this zone.
The worst part about it, though, is, like, we talk about this all the time at my house, where it's just, like, it's not who you know, it's, like, or not, sorry, I just totally got it backwards, but it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And that's, like, every job I've ever had.
I've learned that Louis taught me this better than anybody, that, like, having a personal connection with somebody is so valuable. Because then you have just, like, you have all of that awkward part out of the way of going somewhere and talking about, getting into a next step.
It's like
he was so good at just, like, you're going to remember me, and you're going to like me, and I like you, and we're different, and that's tight.
And even if you don't ever see anybody that knew that person again, like, your effort, like, your, like, working out to, like, make that connection happen will carry over in, like, the weirdest way. Where you're like, damn, that, like, extra set I did on that person made me strong enough to do this one.
Yeah.
And now I'm, like, chilling,
You did some mind push-ups? Yeah, because I don't know, that's a big thing with, like, guys our age, is just being so, like, binary about things, too, or just kind of like, oh, they're not in the circle that I want to be, you know what I mean? Like, like, when you watch somebody who just genuinely doesn't think that way at all, and is, like, so fucking liquid about moving around places and stuff, like, it's nice. It's a real cool thing to see.
Damn, most of the guys that I work with are like that. Like, it's funny, too, because when I was coming into it...
Everything's backwards these days. Yeah. Like, liberals are the most hard-ass fucking impossible people to communicate with on the planet.
Well, liberals have always been pro-state.
And fucking... I'm just saying, in general, like, the stereotypes... I always feel like stereotypes live up to their expectation, and right now they're, like, literally backwards. Where you go up to a dude with, like, a American flag cut-off shirt on or something,
and
like,
what's up, brother?
That dude actually wants to hang out, too. He's, like, not just like, oh, hey, so I was polite. Are you leaving soon? Or, like, everything's fucking, I don't know. I kind of love that, too. Chaos reigns.
Similarly, at the biggest party we had at the Janelle house, I met a guy that was doing wheelies on a motorcycle outside of our house on the street. And I remember I was rolling balls on Molly, just to get that straight out. I was high as fuck on that shit. And I just went out. Everybody was stressing, too. They were like, damn, there's somebody out there doing that. And I was just like, all right, let's go see it. And I came out.
You were walding the ring?
Yeah. I was wearing
Ringwald? Molly Ringwald?
Like, if you're on Molly at a party and nobody else is, you're essentially wearing the one ring. You're invisible to, like, everybody else's, like, vibes getting thrown at you. I was literally walking around.
You also have, like, the
dictionary.
You could, like, walk up to anyone and start talking to them. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, no, I speak fluent you right now for the next 3 minutes. Like,
for no reason.
Yeah, it's perfect. What do you got?
And
that's how Louis seems. He seems like he's on Molly the whole fucking time. When you watch
happy.
him interact with people.
It's, like, dark happy. You ever seen somebody that's, like...
He trips me out because he literally... I don't have any more intelligent way of putting this, but, like, dumbs himself down, or smarts himself up to exactly the person he's talking to. And then when it's somebody he is, like, intellectually bested by, he just starts self-deprecating on himself and calling out that person's smart to the point where he's still the alpha in the situation, but still so welcoming and, like, kick-ass the whole time. I don't know, it's the funniest fucking shit to me.
You think that's funny?
Yeah. It cracks me up because it's like...
That is a good way to get by.
It's something that I would overthink so hard. I'd be like, how do you communicate with this person that, like... And this dude just does it in a way where he's just like, I'll just call out what the vibe is in the room real quick. Like, he just does it with, like, blunt honesty. It's, like, very nice. What are you looking for?
This. I found it.
Alright. I got another question.
Oh, man. I thought we were hanging out.
No, dude. No. I mean, we're hanging out, but...
But you got some shit to fucking...
Yeah, I gotta keep it going, dude. I gotta keep it...
We're production
fluid.
What's the name of your production company?
Jizz Skeet Productions.
Damn, I saw something. Honestly, that might be a thing.
It's yeah.
I've been around the internets.
Yeah, I'm probably late to that one. Okay, so first thing, we were talking about memes, and I think memes are really fascinating because they don't have a time frame on them the way most things do in our video time right now. Like everything's like boom, 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 really quick, or like it'll just be like memes are meant to just be you can keep scrolling and still get it, you know what I mean? But there's no real time frame on it. Like you could just sit there and like cheese out on it forever. Like I love the one where it's spaghetti and it goes from like flour to noodles to being hard noodles to boiled to like dried back out and then put on a plate with some spaghetti sauce, and it's like first wet your dries and then dry your wets and then wet your dries, then dry those wets, and then lastly wet those dries and dust those wets, and it's like has some Parmesan at the end. It's fucking hilarious. Like I could look at it.
I know.
Dude, I love that meme. It's so good, but
spaghetti is.
But the opposite of that is like watching commercial culture try to like get in on those little bits of time frame. So on my YouTube feed right now, and I'm on YouTube a lot, I've noticed that I don't even get... I used to get these commercials that were like super fucking long, and you had to hit skip after a while or something like that. But now I get these ones that are 4.9 seconds long.
Yeah.
No, it's 4.9 seconds long and ends right before skip, and it's just like somehow the whole plot of a movie with a narration is just like this summer Hugh Jackman in a mind-blending thriller, blah, blah, blah. And it shows you the whole... It even shows you the scene at the end with the swarm that the person has to defeat somehow with like believing in themselves or some shit. But those commercials are fucking crazy because I feel like those are people who don't get it. They're just like looking at an algorithm where they're like, okay, the person spends this much time on everything, like here. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, but put it into like this format, and that shit cracks me up. I don't know why. I keep seeing these commercials where they're trying to go really fast, and they're getting really close to... I don't know if you remember this, but at the end of commercials when I was a kid, there would be like health and warning safety thing, but it'd be a guy like...
super fast.
It'd be like... Trojan Condoms is not responsible for anything. Side effects may include like dizziness, nausea, mesothelioma, two butts, aggressive poops, like blah 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 blah. You know, blah 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 blah. Like it used to be fucking crazy like that.
Yeah, I do remember shit.
And
like
I feel
that.
like those people are just about to accidentally reinvent that instead of figuring out that it's like, listen, you just need to put like one scene with no dialogue where it's just like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then boom, title, that's it. Don't even put the date.
I'm so fucked up off of the fucking Dune release right now. Like, Denis Villeneuve.
Did you watch it? Is it
I
out?
haven't seen it yet. Like, that's the problem is, like, it's been delayed so many times that, like, the gestation of the internet has, like, killed it. But it's like, do I love... I don't know. It's like, am I excited to see this? Or am I just, like, bummed out that I haven't seen it in, like, the time period that it was supposed to be allotted? You know what I mean? Like, everybody's picked it over. Like, I don't know. It's just bad. Where it's just like...
And you watched all that stuff?
I didn't watch all of it, but, like, I saw enough to be like, this is what's happening.
You wanted to taste?
Well,
you didn't want to get left behind?
I follow the fucking Dune subreddit.
Well,
get this. Yeah, so get this. It used to be full of people that were like, here's my rendering.
It used to be full of real Duneheads.
Yeah, here's my rendering of the fucking God Emperor of Dune. What do you all think? And then to be like, people like, oh, I really like that. Instead of having the arms be way back, you kind of had it hanging out of, like, the worm's mouth. So it's, like, kind of like he's being eaten by it. And now it's like, so, this is the difference between the trailer that was released, like, months ago and the one now. And it's like, is that what I'm here... Like, that's not what Dune is about. Dune isn't about nitpicking. It's about fucking decisive action that you should just be committed to.
I like Dune because Dune seems like it's always been the impossible project. Like, I feel like Dune should be approached in like a Game of Thrones way. Maybe not like 7 seasons long, but it's like Dune has that much shit in it to where, and it's all brushed through, or from the fucking one that I read, it's like they go through it just like, you know what I'm talking about, like you already know about these things, you know what I mean, like the fucking, and they'll just say like,
no, it's like the hard thing about it is like,
but if you do it Game of Thrones style, they could do it. They could do different time shit and then just have it all sync up at the end, or like...
I don't know. It's like I don't know if I want that, though. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if I want it to be changed. Like...
Yeah.
I think
Tremors really paved all the ground for a giant worm movie that we need anyways, you know what I mean? It's not like Dune has anything to teach us that Kevin Bacon could.
So this is also my thing about Dune, is like, you don't read it, you don't start reading it and being like, oh, this is like literally gonna change my life. So I imagine if you found like in the bookstore, you just found the Bible. Nobody had ever talked about it. Maybe you heard like somebody be like, oh man.
You think Dune is the Bible?
No. I'm just saying, maybe.
Do you think Dune could exist without the Bible? No way.
No
way, bro.
No. Dune is like, so religion is so built, so religion in Dune is not religion. It's a political factor.
That's what it is here too, man.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think that's why fucking Dune is like next level. Like it, and that's the problem with Dune is like, anybody that, like, so, similarly with The Matrix, when you see The Matrix, you're like, damn, this is, like, next level. I need to know more than just seeing this right now. I need to, like, look at who
The
wrote
Matrix
this.
is an actual... I feel like they pulled off a thing where they gave you a mind-bending concept that's going to put more wrinkles in your brain if you just watch the movie. Like...
Yeah.
Like, just if you can get into the concept of, like, oh, shit, yeah, what if this was, like, the cage, you know? The whole time, and I didn't realize I'm in an aquarium type of thing. I feel like that's, like, low-key what every conspiracy theory that's come out recently is all about, like, flat earth theory, all that shit, just like, oh, no, we're just, like, in a pen, and there's more. Like, it's all the same concept, and I like that, though, because it's, like, it's the baby talk for some cool big idea that's coming in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is baby talk. It's, like, I got a couple buddies that are, like, balls deep into flat earth, and that's, like, we'll talk conspiracies the whole time, and then that one, I'm just like,
It's definitely... Flat Earth is definitely the juggalo of conspiracy.
Yeah, but I'm a huge fan of conspiracies in general, where I feel like some people have a hard time with them existing at all because it's like a fiction in their opinion. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like
a lot of them
are.
A lot of them are.
Your reaction to a conspiracy is, like, more telling than, like, the conspiracy itself, because it's like...
But I look at it the exact same way, but just in a positive light, where I'm like, well, even if everything you say happened on 9/11 happened the way it did, the conspiracy theory rabbit hole about that shit is better than any fucking movie anyone's ever made. Like, it's awesome, and it's full of tiny subplots. You can join the other side for a couple of years.
You just
like,
see what's happening.
You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. It's awesome. So that's my whole thing with conspiracy theories in general. Is like, I never get too attached to them in the first place, but like, which I think is where everyone loses their mind. Is like, I need to put my ideology down at the very beginning of this. And it's like, oh, dude, can we just watch... let's put a couple episodes on before we, turn it off, type of shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of want you to, lead in with, characters and, kind of build a vibe more than I want you to tell me what's going on,
That's why there's better conspiracy theory people, too. There are people who have, because it's not just about the people who have the information. It's those people still need communication skills. And it's you need to find that person who can, translate information into borderline entertainment, basically. And I think that's fucking... Those are the best dudes. I don't know. And then you get, harsh ends of both streams, too, where you can just, you can just read, a Warren Commission or the 9/11 report or something like that, and which is fun, too, because those things, if you actually had somehow the mental capacity
they definitely submerge you in a time.
Read a fucking phone book and then get through those last couple chapters where they actually omit a lot of stuff, too, where they're just and also, this is just, the assumption of the forensic artists at the scene and, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's they do that thing at the end of news where news goes, this has been a Fox News Entertainment production. And it's that literally omits them of, if you go kill yourself because of what you saw on the news, it's no, we're just an entertainment company. We provide a show that's based on the news. We're not the new... We're not the...
We don't tell people.
We don't provide the information. We're just repeating it.
The fifth estate.
Yeah. And those are at the backs of both of those things, too. And I don't know. That's why I like conspiracies about those things, because those ones...
Damn.
Gravitate.
What was your question about memes?
My question was, what do you think the, how fast can it get before it's just just a flash, what's the, if a meme isn't short enough and these 4.9 second commercials aren't short enough, how, where do you see the future of funny communication and then also advertising trying to keep up with that pace?
Neural link, honestly. I think,
oh, ew.
Yeah, I think as far as, how far people will go...
I'm so glad I'm, the generation that is going to be old when that's...
Yeah,
getting kicked
that's
in.
Not my speed at all. The idea that you could have your processor connected, and this, so, and I'm I know people who do legitimate brain research.
Yeah.
And every time I say oh yeah, blah blah blah, it's kind of the brain's kind of like a processor. They're This is not...
Those people get crossed up, too, because computers are based off of brains, and then they try to describe brains as computers.
No, what's fucked up is, computers are not based off the brain. That's, the big confusion, is, what I've come to realize is computers are based off of tasks. Do you have something that this computer can do? It will do it. A brain, as far as we know... does things unfathomable. I recently saw an image of one cell that you learn about in fucking high school, that it was the best image that they could get. And this image was it was psychedelic.
Dude, I've seen these renderings of
just some shit going on in a
I
cell.
don't even know what the fuck it's called, but it's stuff that carries individual parts of DNA to other parts and then lets it connect to a different thread. But it literally looks like a cartoon thing. It's so strange, dude. That shit is very strange.
Unfathomable.
I feel like my childhood instincts about like the universe have always been true though. That like the macro and the micro are all the same thing, just repeating type of thing, and that like the Big Bang is more like a Big Bang, big collapse, Big Bang, like a breath type of thing, like as a wave or something. The way everything seems to be.
Yeah.
Kind of like a season.
Kind of
like plant dies, plant grows, plant dies, plant, shit like that. Like
similar to what you were talking about.
But I feel like my whole
like,
life is listening to intellectual people just over explain shit like that to where it's like I have this weird thing. I never really went to school, but I'm like, dude, I figured this out reading zoo books when I was a little kid, I swear. Like, what the fuck are they teaching you in school that's new, though? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's more just, like, how do we explain this as an adult so that we could, like, sell this to a pharmaceutical company so that they can see that there would be a tangible amount of results, like, pending at the end of this process or something. It's like, fuck, dude. I feel like you explore in the almost wrong direction from school. Like you still do the work and we're like making the ground and everything, but it's like, I wish this was more in the direction of that we know we're gonna die and shit, and let's figure out some answers that could, like, ripple through the future to where we get to sort that out on our own time type of thing. Like if you could figure... I don't know. Here's my thing. I think you should have to fucking cure one cancer for every fucking, lab-born robot gun baby or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, for every one thing we make in that direction, can we please fucking start fixing some of the classic shit that's been around forever?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems like if we just put money and focus in a direction, it happens no matter what. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Dude, in Iran, they just sent a drone just autonomously attack somebody, and it's like a suicide drone with a bomb on it. And I'm just like, okay.
That's a lot of thought.
No, I'm like, okay, cool. The future's coming. I can't stop that. I don't want to get too crazy old man about, But can we please fucking... can I get, like, some fucking autism medicine or something? You know what I mean? Can I get some... Can we level the playing field if we're going to have robots that can just decide to attack? You know what I mean?
Well, nobody wants... So, along those lines, like, nobody wants to work with people. And that's, like,
terrible.
That's the real problem is, like, you want to get shit solved? Like, you have to convince people that they want shit solved.
That's what I'm saying about making climate change sexy.
Well, honestly, the sexiest thing... So, you want to know the sexiest thing I thought about the whole COVID... Or not COVID, but the smoke thing.
What was
here?
the sexiest thing about COVID?
Honestly, like... Some people, like, with a mask on look so much better without the mask on, you know what I mean? Like,
I had... Because I met everyone at the pizza shop with mask on. And then we had, like, one week... We had 1 week with mask off, and you could tell everybody was just like, oh... that's unfortunate. Like, and it was going both ways, too, There were some dogs.
Yeah.
There were some dogs behind those fucking sheets.
Yeah. I saw that firsthand at fucking Bebo, where it was just like, damn. That whole mouth is there?
There were people that you already knew what they looked like, but were weirdly sexy with a mask on. It's like a face bra.
It's a face bra.
Yeah, you're just like,
it's a pull-up, you know what I mean?
I know what a
Pulls your
titty
face
looks
up.
like, but I can't see that one.
Yeah. That's, yeah. So, sexiest thing I thought about the smoke.
Have you had sex with a mask on?
No. Hell no. Hell no. That's sadistic. Like, for everybody involved.
I feel like that would, I don't know. That's kind of like what. That's kind of like what everybody's always looking for at like the festival vibe and shit. It's just like,
Anonymity.
yeah, let's have no
strings attached.
no strings attached, man. Just free love.
Let me see that pursy.
Let me see that beehole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that stuff riles you up.
Rouse you up, dude. Puts a little blood in the pecker. For sure.
Okay, so with the meme thing, I
Is that a
think
bad question?
Neuralink is my final answer. Where it's
question.
like the only fastest way they're gonna get it down is that they figure out how the brain talks to the fucking mind, which people haven't figured out up until this point. I've recently read a whole book about how the best idea of what we have for what the mind is essentially a sticky hand that the brain and the body somehow toss out into the world to like make sense of anything. And somehow, on top of all of that, on top of you having a mind that you can throw out there, you somehow make that shit happen in some way. You don't have full autonomy. We're not even saying that you have autonomy necessarily, but damn straight you got one of them sticky hands, so you better figure out how that sticky hand be slanging. And that's the brain working with the body, making the mind happen. And that's all we know about it. The idea that the mind happens, we have no sense between how the brain not only takes in information through the entire body, but like allows the thought to happen.
We were talking about this the other night too, where I was like, it's crazy because if you think, like if you try to think about something, your brain can like assemble all the shit to get to the end of that thought. If you really want to, you could be like, okay, and then this would happen, and then if that happened, then probably this would happen, or whatever. But sometimes, which I think that part's crazy, that you could just like, I don't know. Like, I understand the whole, like, that's hot, don't touch it type of learning, but, like, the being able to be like, oh, yeah, that spot where it was wet, plants grew there more. Maybe I should plant food I can eat in that spot. You know, like, you come up with, like, an idea out of seeing something work. Like, you invented a thing, kind of. Even if it wasn't, like, an original invention in time, it's like you invented it in your own brain in real time for yourself. And then also, sometimes you just get thoughts. There's, like, shit that just pops in your brain that is, like, not something you're working on, had any goal of going towards at all. Anything. Just, like, pops in your brain, or, like, you'll have a dream where it's, like, just sticks with you for like a month, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you did all that? I've been having crazy dreams lately, but fucking, I don't know, there's something like, I always feel like a robot couldn't, I don't want to say couldn't have imagination, because I feel like they could conceptualize what imagination is, but I don't think they could conceptualize what, like,
free time,
inspiration from boredom or something.
That's the problem with
like an
computers
epiphany is, or anything like that.
Like, humans are like built to have free time, and when a computer has free time, it's just idling. Humans sometimes don't idle, and that's like the problem with like basing computers off of task management, where it's like, no, we don't need a task right now, we just need to sleep.
I feel like our generation wants to go the other direction, though, and be like, we should be more like the computers, because the computers are the most efficient. And there's not, like, a super good argument for why not to be that way, too. Other than some, like, romantic shit, you know what I mean? Like, where you're just like, well, sometimes you gotta stare at them mountains and, like, you know, figure out why the wind's blowing to the west this week. And, you know, like, people, I don't know, robots don't like hearing shit like that.
Exactly. It's weird. Like, recently they had to realize that automated intelligence, which is, like, basically building a computer into being able to deal with unknowns, which is
or known unknowns, as Rumsfeld would say.
As Rumsfeld would say, but they realized that, like, high processing AIs had to sleep.